Another in for a special treat today. First of all,
Mhm.
Mom, how have you been doing? What's been going on? Like, catch me up.
Okay, so I missed you guys first and foremost. We really, really missed you guys. There's
Yes.
been a lot going on. We are headed to, eh, you want to say,
ATL.
yeah, come on. Stream
Stream
Atlanta is
ATL's
coming up.
back.
We got that going on. Ooh, we have another surprise for you coming up right after Stream ATL, but you'll have to wait for it. You have to come back and find out what's going on. It's happening though in our local community here in the LA County area. So for all my LA family, hey, make sure that you come and watch and see what we're doing. Okay. Nehemiah, what's been going on with you? Because you traveling on all the world, around the world. I saw you. I saw the plane rides and stuff. What you doing?
Just been busy. As you mentioned, we are getting ready for Stream ATL. So excited to be back with an
Mhm.
expo this year in Atlanta. We're going to be taking over Tri Cities High School, and I can't wait.
Wait
So
a minute. Hold on. So say that again.
we
We're
are
taking over
taking
what?
over Tri Cities High School.
The
So we
whole high
get to
school?
do
Or
our
like partial,
pop-up
like the
experience
cafeteria?
for 1500 kids at Tri Cities High School.
So the whole campus,
The whole campus.
1,500 kids for
Yes.
expo. Oh my goodness. I'm excited about that.
I'm
Okay.
excited too. And so I can't wait for the students, of course, there to be able to be served and be exposed to so many different career opportunities available. For all
Yep.
of you that aren't in Atlanta or don't attend Tri Cities High School, don't worry. We'll have updates and videos for you to look at. So we'll be taking you along for the entire journey. And then we do have some upcoming experiences coming up. So stay tuned.
Mm.
Extremeglobal.org or following us on social media platforms at streamglobal.org. But that's not why we're here today.
Not
Mom,
at all.
why are we here?
Oh my goodness. Do we have an amazing guest? Okay. I'm not even gonna, you know what? We're not gonna even do her justice. Let's just bring her in the room. Bring her on in the
Let's
room.
bring her in.
Hey,
There
Hi.
she is. Hey.
so nice to be
Good.
here.
Happy Friday.
Happy Friday. And I heard Tri Cities, one of my closest friends went to Tri Cities High School.
Come on.
It's a
Shout out to
small
Tri
world.
Cities High School. It is a small world. We're super excited. The school is humongous though. We are shocked how much they got a lot of stuff going on there. A
I
lot of
don't know
space.
if it's just us living on like the West Coast that it just seems like schools are bigger or something. But I
I
went there
feel like
last
we
week and
got
I was like,
cheated.
my high school is not this big.
It wasn't that
And
big.
we
I
had
feel like
more
we got
kids at
cheated
it,
on
and it
some
was not that
space.
big.
Yeah, we need some more square footage out here for sure.
I'm a little jealous. Hi,
So,
Liz. It is so nice to be able to sit down and chat with you. Thank you so much for joining us today.
mhm,
Thank you for
mhm.
having me. I'm so happy to be here.
We are
we
so
didn't
excited
even
to have you.
we didn't even introduce you because we were like, she is going, we would mess it up. Like we wouldn't even give you justice. So if you don't mind, could you tell the people who you are, what you're doing, what you're up to these days?
Yeah, so I'm Lizz Rene. I use she, her pronouns. I am from the Atlanta area, Clayton County, proud alumna of the University of Georgia. But now
Oh,
I'm based in the Washington, D.C. area, specifically
wow.
in Maryland. And I am a DEI, so diversity, equity, and inclusion practitioner by day for a tech company. And outside of my 9 to 5, I'm the proud founder of PO'UP Card Game, which is a nostalgic card game to reminisce your college days and really bridge the gap between the experiences of Black students and alumni of HBCUs and PWIs.
Oh my goodness. Oh my
I
goodness.
She said so
Listen,
much that I'm so excited about just in the introduction. Okay,
there it is. Look
yeah,
at y'all.
here's the card.
Hello. She was like in the
Ta-da.
game. So what inspired you to create this card? Like what inspired you to even create this card game?
Yeah, so I definitely think it's something about my college experience. So, as you all know, the University of Georgia is predominantly white. Only 8% of the students on campus identify as Black.
Wow.
Um, and while there aren't a lot of Black students in comparison to all of the other demographics, the Black community on campus was very tight knit. So, it
Mm,
was this interesting experience where, honestly, as a minority on campus, I felt very unheard, underrepresented, and
mm,
unseen. But at the same time, I just felt this tight knit community of support with the Black community and alumni when I graduated. So I realized that I had this sense of pride. And now being in the DC area, when you meet alumni from Howard, from GW, and all of these other universities, like there's just something about Black college students and alumni, the barriers that we had to overcome to get to the point of graduation. Like it's just a different sense of pride that we have for coming this far. And so I said, why don't I bottle up that pride in the form of a card game so we can celebrate our Black excellence together?
I am so inspired and absolutely love that. As we mentioned earlier, Stream's getting ready to head back to the ATL. And so, with that being said, we wanted to spotlight some amazing people that have either live in the ATL or are coming out of it. And Liz was just definitely one of those people that we were like, okay, we have to sit down and talk to her. She's doing some incredible things, of course, as a graduate from a school in the Atlanta area, but just I think what you just mentioned, the voice and representation. Stream, one of our main values is just ensuring that there's diversity, equity, and inclusion in everything that we do. And so a lot of that's targeting communities and students that just don't see these types of things. And so I'm so glad that whether it be some type of mega experience or as simple as a card game, that you were able to take all of that and bottle it up into something that can actually be spread across the world. It's not just specific to a local community, but can go everywhere.
Absolutely.
Can I ask a question? I know I'm just going to sidetrack you on this one, but we do work with a lot of parents and students. And so our objective is to connect the dots between education and career. We do not feel that one size fits all, but we do feel like there's a size for everyone. You just have to find and locate what that is. But you said something that was like critical, and then I promise you, we're going to get into the reason why we're here today. But for students that are really trying to figure out and navigate their schooling, trying to figure out what's the best for them, right? What would you say to them? Because I'm curious to how you were able to navigate that process, not seeing a lot of people that look like you or mirror image you, and then still finding the motivation to move forward. I will say this to the audience, period, that I do believe that diversity is critical. It is critical, and you do need to know how to dwell with all cultures. But there is a special thing about being able to see someone and look at them and say, I can be that person. So I'm going to stop right there before I get on my soapbox. But tell us how you do it. How you do it?
Yeah. So I think of a few different things. So one, if I could go back to when I was 18 years old, applying to colleges, maybe even 17 years old, I wish that I would have really broadened my horizons to choose different kinds of colleges. So not just the ones that were in proximity to me, not just the ones that had the funds to send me pamphlets in the mail, but really explore. And I think what's amazing about this generation is there's so much exposure through social media, television shows. We're seeing even more representation of historically Black colleges and universities that without the pamphlets, students are getting that exposure. So I would say one thing is, as you apply to college, have your list of colleges that you're really thinking of, but then what are the ones that you might not be thinking of? Like find a way to do a virtual tour or tour it and apply anyway, including colleges that you feel like you might not be able to get into. One of the things that I did when I was in college is I was so stuck on, I need this SAT score, I need this GPA, and if it's not written on their website, I'm not going to apply at all. And that's one of my biggest regrets, because you never know. There are so many variables that go into choosing college students. It's not just a numbers game, and I wish I would have realized that. The third thing that I would say, once you choose a college campus, whether it's an HBCU or a PWI, is there are so many resources to get you acclimated so you don't have to do it alone. So I know for a lot of HBCUs, there are upward bound programs where you can come to the college campus before school officially starts to just meet people. So you're not starting and having to meet people. You already have a cohort of people. At the University of Georgia, we had a program called Georgia Days, where Black admitted students had an opportunity to visit the college campus for a weekend, stay with current students in the dorms, and experience college for an entire weekend, because, there's a lot of anxiety. Yeah. So these are things that I was able to leverage to navigate a new place. And even though there weren't a lot of people that looked like me on campus, I think it just boils down to, you can't be what you can't see. And because of Georgia Days, I was able to see Black students thriving at UGA, having fun, and still getting good grades. And that really was a solidifier for, okay, I can be successful here too.
You just gave some excellent advice. And I think you said something very, very key, which a lot of times we want to highlight institutions and just people that are creating those spaces and environments, and really just the time to be able to say, okay, this may not be the majority here, but there's a special day where you can come in and see yourself. So I even applaud your school for making that happen. And for you for having the resource and now sharing it on, because I'm sure there is some student out there that just didn't even know that that was available.
Yes.
All right, Atlanta kids. So you've heard it. Liz just gave you a roadmap. She literally gave you a blueprint of how you can check out schools prior to coming, how you can find your space. And honestly, if you're not there, if you're not represented, how you can be a trailblazer, right? You can start something small that now is big, right? So listen, let's get into this game. I want to hear more about it. Tell us about the game and what makes it different compared to other games.
So the thing about PO'UP card game is it's all about celebrating Black excellence with a toast, or for those of
I like
you
that.
who, yeah, a nice toast to Black excellence. Because, you know, one of the things that you see, graduation photos, Black graduates specifically, they always have like a little bottle of champagne that they're celebrating in their graduation photos. I've also had people who, instead of celebrating with the toast, they do push-ups, you know, with the card game, etc. But how you play is very easy. All you do is you pull a card, and it's going to have a question or a prompt that will remind you of college days or have you reminisce your college days. You
Okay.
answer the question and you toast to Black excellence. It's just all about celebrating your experience. And as you play, especially if you're in an environment with PWI, HBCU graduates, every type of school in between. I played with people who had military experiences, non-traditional college experiences. The goal is acknowledging that we have more in common than we think. And oftentimes we can be so competitive and we have pride in our schools, but sometimes we put down other people's experiences. But it's not about that. And at the end of the day, as Black people, we're doing something that's so much bigger than ourselves. So let's come together through storytelling, connection, and joy, and really bridge that gap.
Okay, just for anyone that doesn't know, can you tell them what PWI means?
Predominantly white institution.
Perfect. Perfect. But sometimes we use acronyms as if everyone knows, but we want to just, want to be inclusive, right? We want to make sure we're all on the same page. So Niamani, what's next?
Well, I heard that Liz is going to challenge us.
Oh no.
Oh no. She's going to challenge us a little bit to answer some of these questions. So I'm excited. We've been trying to prepare our minds mentally for this, Liz. We're like, okay, we're going to get on with her.
I'm ready whenever you are.
Let's go. Let's go for it.
Okay. Well, first, as I ask questions, is there a college that you've either attended, graduated from, or that you root for and you represent, whether you went there or not?
Ooh. Okay, I'm going to start for the non-traditional student that may start at like a community college. Is that fair? Can I do that?
Absolutely.
Okay, so I'm going to start there. Community college.
Okay.
Yeah.
And how about for you?
I also attended a community college. I love, I think by nature, we're very just love learning the aspects of different schools though. But I attended a community college, and I think my mom also started at a community college.
I did. But you know what? Let me switch my answer then. How about students that are went to college late? So maybe they started their career and did like online training.
Gotcha. I love that. I love that. Okay.
You can keep community college. I'm gonna do that one. Let's go.
Okay. So different kinds of questions that you might get. These are all from the nostalgia category. We have 9 different categories, just to keep it interesting. So there are different formats of questions, but these are straightforward. All you do is answer. So as you think about that college in mind, or if you want to choose another college that you can think of based on where you're located, who is your school's biggest rival? So whether that was at your current school or maybe in the area, there was a big school rival that everyone hated. I know hate is a strong word. I know for me at the University of Georgia, we had many rivals. Georgia Tech, University of Florida, I think were really the biggest rivals.
Let's see. I would think for non-traditional schools or for students that just started late for whatever reason, I would think that they would be competing with traditional education, right? So because they just didn't hop out and go to the four-year university, or they waited, maybe started in a trade tech and then went, that probably would be considered somewhat of a competition.
That's good. I didn't even look at it from that perspective.
See, I won. I won.
Hey, that was a good answer.
That was a good
Okay.
answer.
Since we are getting ready to do an event at a high school campus, if I can do it from my high school, is that okay?
Yes, absolutely. Ooh, that's a good one.
Ooh, a little twist
You just
on
put
it.
a
Look
spin
at
on it.
that.
I won that round. You shouldn't be coming up with creativity stuff. Okay, go ahead.
I gotta be a little creative. So I attended a school called Saugus High School, and our like rival was Valencia High School. I don't know why. They were probably like 10 minutes away, but it was something about those Vikings. Like,
we love you, Valencia. I know you're gonna be on here. We do love you.
I personally love you, but when it came to games,
we love you.
When it came to games, we were rocking the Centurions, so Vikings had to go somewhere.
I love that. Bringing it back to high school. I know some high school rivalries, even middle school rivalries, were so deep. Okay, so another question, and this might be different for folks who experience their college days online, but what was the best off-campus restaurant? So a restaurant that wasn't on your campus. I know a lot of us may have had cafeterias, but what was a restaurant that you had to drive off campus to that everyone just enjoyed? For us at the University of Georgia, there was a place called Choo Choo's. And for whatever reason, I don't even know how you would describe the cuisine, maybe Asian fusion, but all the college kids loved it. I have a feeling if I went back and had Choo Choo's, I don't think I would like it anymore.
Okay. Does it have to be like a sit-down restaurant? Can it be like a coffee shop, like Starbucks, right?
Yes.
Starbucks is it. Everybody went to Starbucks to go and, do their assignments and to exchange information network. So I'm gonna stick with Starbucks.
Okay. I love that. I love that.
I love that you mentioned like the online student, because half of my, like when I was on campus for community college, it was virtual. It was during the pandemic. So I'm trying to think now. It was my kitchen. Like
your kitchen.
Being completely honest, most of it was during COVID. So I was not on campus.
Okay.
Or anywhere close to it. We were locked down in the house.
Oh, that is something that is something that switched up.
Yeah.
And did you spend 2 years doing online during the pandemic?
So I was like half in person, half online prior to the pandemic, and then I was fully online. So yeah.
Okay.
The kitchen was the place.
Hey, that is so real. I would throw down with some $2 drumsticks from Kroger, and I would make a whole meal in those kitchens that were available on the floor. So shout out to that.
Shout out to the kitchen.
Nikia, your Starbucks, we had Jittery Joe's on campus. So a lot of people did that. But I surprisingly made it through college without drinking coffee. I'm a tea drinker, but I didn't do all-nighters. I would try because everybody was doing it, but I was like, I got to go to sleep.
How in the world?
No coffee ever?
How could she be in Atlanta without going to Dunkin' Donuts? I mean, I love my Starbucks family, but Dunkin'?
Do you drink coffee now? Do you drink coffee now, Liz?
Just tea.
Coffee. Okay.
That's powerful.
That is. I think we need to bring her back to find out how that works.
We're gonna have to have a whole conversation just on how she makes it through life without coffee, because coffee all the time.
Okay, so
Am I
next.
winning, Liz? Am I winning? I'm winning, right?
So,
My answers are better.
I'm glad you mentioned that. Okay, so a lot of us are used to, I mentioned this element of competition. We're used to games where there are winners or losers, but in PO'UP card game, there are no winners or losers because we believe Black excellence deserves to be celebrated and not competed. So we never wanted it to be a situation where someone feels like, oh, well, I went to the largest HBCU and you went to a small town school. I'm winning the game because I have more answers than you do. It's not about that. It's all about storytelling, conversation, sharing your experiences. So some people don't like that. I've found ways to make it competitive when we do live activations, but for the most part, just enjoy.
I love it.
I actually love it. I think you made a valid point. Like every single game that we play is a spirit of competition. Yeah, who can get dressed the fastest can sometimes be a competition game. Like it's just like everything in life has been tied to some type of who's going to do it better, who's going to do it quicker, who's the best at presenting themselves in this format. So I absolutely love it.
Yes. Yes, I'm happy to ask one more question, two more questions, totally up to you.
All right, let's go.
It's in your hands, whatever you want to do.
All right. What is one thing that you would have done differently in college given what you know now?
You know what? I actually think I would have went to college sooner. I actually think I would have stayed on campus and had that full-blown experience. So that's something that, you know, I genuinely miss, right? I would have joined a sorority.
You can still do that.
That is true. But also, I understand what you're saying.
I would have joined the sorority. I would have did the ski, you know, all the little stuff.
Look,
I ain't gonna mess nobody up, but I would have did that, and I probably would have stepped and went to step shows and just all the amazing activities that they have on campus. So I think I would have done that. Went to college sooner, and then stayed on campus. What about you, Nia?
I think for me, it's not necessarily putting limitations on who I think could be in my friend group. I think
that's a good one.
We get so used to the immediate people that we know that we like forget that other people can come in and you can build great relationships with other people, not dismissing necessarily the current friends that you have, but just adding on to it. And so I think sometimes I get comfortable in my current setting that I miss out on opportunities that are also available because I'm comfortable in where I am.
You know, to tag on to that, it wasn't until I got older that I started really valuing the importance of diversity, like really visiting other cultures, trying other foods, visiting other cities, communities, countries. I mean, it's just amazing. It's a big world out there, and all of it is valuable. All of it is valuable to the bottom line. So I agree with you, Nia. That was a good answer.
That's a great answer.
Yeah.
How about you, Liz? What would you?
So in addition to applying to all the schools that I was interested in and diversifying the kinds of schools that I applied to, I would say once I got to campus, just jumping into the major that I actually like, that made me a little nervous to explore. So honestly, I wanted to be an orthodontist. And so at first I got to college and I was undecided. I didn't know what I want to major in. And then I just got nervous because all of the students who are taking these science classes to prepare for medical degrees in the future, they just all talked about how horrible the classes were, how hard they were. And it really scared me. So I never even bothered signing up for a science course, taking the class. And I said, forget about orthodontics. I don't want to do it. It just sounds too hard. I didn't like science in high school. So am I going to like it in college? And I wish I would have at least given it a chance.
Yeah, that's good. I think that's really good. What you just said is literally the reason why Stream was created. For the kids that just don't know, it was an opportunity for us to explore early. So what does science look like? What does tech look like? What does reading, engineering, arts, manufacturing, entrepreneurship? What does that look like even before we get to college or are looking into different careers that are available for us? Is that meaning we go to a four-year college campus and explore something in the medical field like you? Do we explore or try something in the arts? Do we launch businesses? Like, what does that mean for us as an individual? So I love what you just said about really just taking the opportunity. I was taking a leap of faith, I would say, and stepping out into something that may be uncomfortable, but we won't know if we never try.
Exactly. Absolutely.
I think people have to know how to take those classes too. You take the uncomfortable ones and the fun ones so you can get through the uncomfortable ones. I tried to do my uncomfortable ones first and pad it with something that was just ridiculous, like pickleball or something just crazy. Or I did. Just so I can pad it, right? But it was fun. Yeah. So what's the next question, Liz?
The next question is, oh wait, we just did that. Which class are you most likely to skip? I know we were just talking about taking chances and taking the hard classes, but which class were you most likely to skip?
What's your class, Mom?
Trying to think. You know what? I'm not gonna lie. Math is interesting. Like sometimes I love it, and then sometimes it's just different. In the pandemic, me and my son, we argued on how we came up with the answer of the math problem. Because my math that we did and his math, the new math, is different. And so he told me my way didn't work, even though we came up with the same answer. Mine was quicker. His processes just seemed longer. I still don't understand.
They make us draw out everything.
What is that about? Teachers, why do you do that? It's the same answer.
They want to see all the steps, knowing good and well. They're just going to look at the answer at the bottom, but it's okay. That's another debate.
So sometimes math, especially when letters and numbers are the same thing, and it's just all these different layers. It drove me nuts. Got through it successfully and did well, but it wasn't my favorite. What about you, Nia?
For me, accounting was a headache. It was just, I like math, but I have such a grace for accountants. Like, I would never, it's not an industry I want to go into. I would never dream about going into it. I admire knowing the information, but outside of that, like, ooh, it was not fun. I had a great teacher though. She was awesome.
What about you, Liz?
Ooh, so with math, it's funny you mentioned that. That was the only AP test that I took in high school that I actually got a high enough score that I didn't have to take it in college.
Come on.
So technically, I guess that is one, because I did not want to have to take statistics or whatever it was in college. And then, I'm trying to think out of the classes I took, which one I was most likely to skip. You can tell that I was a good student and went to class, even though, because I didn't take all-nighters, so I was able to wake up for class. But I will say there was, because I did public relations and international affairs, so there was like an early, maybe like a 9 a.m. journalism class that I ended up skipping all the time. My junior or my senior, my senior year, you mentioned sorority. So I'm a member of Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated. And as I was going,
like she was about to go off on you.
Oh no. But listen, for you, Niamani, did you tell her what you went into? You was
I did Delta Gems in high school.
Oh, that's awesome. That's okay, so Delta cute. Gems. We love to see it. So as you're, doing so much, trying to learn about Delta history and everything, you're juggling a lot, let's just say. And so I still got good grades, but that was the one class I was most likely to skip. Morning classes, let's just put it that way.
And here's the funny thing. Both Niamani and I love journalism. Niamani did journalism on top of engineering. And then a bunch of other things. We had her try everything. But this is why it's also important to know your circle, because things that you're not as good in, you have friends like a Liz that you can come to and she would help you with your math. Look.
Maybe. I don't know. Math I don't really remember.
The new math is different. I'm telling you, it's some different stuff. I don't know who's creating it, but it's different.
Liz was doing her math to get out of it, Mom. She said she tested out of it. That she didn't want to go back to it. She just tested out of it.
Man. Okay, well.
I want to say thank you so much, Liz.
This was fun.
Thank you.
This was super fun. If those of you have watched Founders Fridays before, we've never done like a live game in here, but I really enjoyed it. Yes, you're great as well. Your personality is awesome, so it's easy to feed off of it. So thank you so much for sharing about your game, for everything that you're doing. Where
Yeah.
can people find more about this game? Do you have social media? You have a website? Like, let us know the details.
Yes, so you can find out more about PO'UP Card Game at PO'UP Cards on Instagram and TikTok. You can also check out our website, poupcards.com. And we are currently available in certain stores. So if you're in the DC area,
Mhm.
Busboys and Poets is a really well-known chain up there. Femme Fatale and Nubian Human. We're working our way into the Atlanta area. Fingers crossed, we have some
Nice.
places in the work. But one thing that I always say for small businesses that is really helpful to support, in addition to following us on social media and, checking out our product online, when you go to these bookstores and maybe wine shops or small retailers and you're checking out, ask them like, "Hey, do you have PO'UP Card Game?" And it helps us because it's spreading the word, not just us pitching our product on why it's so great, but now it tells the managers and the buyers of those small stores that people are looking for the product and I should look into purchasing that product. I even do this when I'm looking to support Black brands. Whenever I go to a wine
Mhm.
store, if they don't have Black Girl Magic wine or if they don't have the brands I'm looking for,
Mhm.
sometimes I won't even make a purchase and I'll say, "Hey, I was looking for
Mm.
this brand specifically. I see that you don't have it, so I'd like to make a recommendation and let me know and I'll come back when you have it."
Oh, nice. Wow.
So
Okay.
that really supports us in getting into these, stores and eventually making our way to the Targets of the world.
I
And
love it and love that you mentioned it. August happens to as well be Black Business Month.
Mhm.
So we're
Well, support y'all. And
going to be supporting.
here's what I love about the game. We threw kind of a wrench in it, right? We did non-traditional schools. So as you can tell, anyone can play. We all can play. And the fact that we were able to exchange information, and to your point that you said, Liz, we found some commonality between
Yeah.
them all. You did it. This was a great example of how we can all play together and find value from the information that we share. So I want to thank you again for joining us. This is an amazing Founder Friday. I love it. We'll have to invite you again.
Please
Yes.
do. Thank you so much for having me. It's been a pleasure. Nia, you're doing amazing things. Nakia, I love to see the dynamic between the two of you. And I just really appreciate you thinking of us.
And we're gonna
Absolutely.
have to do something like a stream DC or something now because Liz out
Oh,
there.
Hey,
hmm. I have an idea too. That would be cool to do a big old pop-up card game with a bunch of different of our corporate partners. I'm just saying.
I love to see it. I have some
Oh,
ideas for you. I used to work with DC Public Schools, so I'm hearing what you're doing for Tri-Cities, and I'm gonna keep you in mind. I used to support
we're
a
gonna be in
program
touch.
called We the Girls, and I think you would be amazing for that. So yes, see, this is what it's all about: building connections, and look at us networking.
Networking.
Wow.
We're gonna make something happen. Liz, you are absolutely phenomenal. I will be going and following right after this. Super excited to be supporting everything that you're doing. And congratulations on all the success. It really is
Amazing.
admirable. Great to look at. Like you said, Black Girl Magic. I am here for it. Appreciate it. And just, yeah, congratulations. Thank you so much for joining us today.
All
Thank you
right.
so much for having me.
Have a
Yeah.
great weekend.
Thank you. You too.
Bye-bye.
What did you think?
Man, that's amazing, Mia. That's really incredible. That's an awesome idea. I was serious too about having our corporate partners do it because it'd be awesome to find out what schools they went to and what their school experience was. So I'm just saying,
Yes, I
we can
think
do
it would be
that.
awesome too.
Mhm.
We should try that out.
Let's do
We're,
it.
we're gonna work with Liz to make that happen.
Let's do it.
I just want to say thank you so much, everyone, for joining us for another Founders Friday. This has got to be one of my favorites. I think every conversation is my favorite. I say that after every single one. But we always have an opportunity to sit down with some incredible
we do.
people. And that just fills our hearts. We love meeting people. We love sharing stories. We love digging into people's education and career journeys. Of course, our mission of Stream. And so it's always awesome to learn someone new. And
she dropped some gems too. She gave people blueprints. I hope you guys had a pad and a piece of
pad and paper.
Pencil.
It's okay.
We have something to write something down with. She said some really good stuff. So if you missed it, go back, listen to this again, and write that down, because that's the way you do it. You explore before you go. It's the perfect way to figure out where your next step is.
Absolutely. Well, for those of you that are not already following Stream, make sure to follow Stream on all social media platforms at streamglobal.org. Follow my mom, Nakia, at Stream Inspires. You can follow me at Niamani Knight. And we are going to be back soon with some more incredible people. We are highlighting all throughout. We're going into August next month. Next week is August, so it's insane. Get ready for the Tri-Cities Stream ATL countdown. And we'll speak with you and see you all soon.
All right. Bye.